I give you my opinion, nigga, and then I be like, but shit, you gotta do what you gotta do though, bitch. You chose this lane.
Yes.
That's what I tell you.
Facts.
I might be like, I feel like
You know, free bands and 21 Savage sold somebody a condo. And when they bought the condo, they didn't know the nigga kept the keys and the door opener and all that shit to get in. So when the other nigga went out of town, the nigga that sold the condo to him went back in there.
Future just made what might be the biggest slip-up of his career. He decided to throw a slick jab at 21 Savage on Twitter, and this is not about to end smoothly. When you take shots at 21, you're not just talking to one man, you're stepping straight into the zone of a crew that's been deep in this game long before fame or record deals ever came around. These aren't some studio gangsters. The 4L camp got a name in Atlanta that makes other groups think twice before speaking. But Future clearly doesn't realize what kind of energy he just called out. While he's been chilling in luxury counting his streaming checks, 21 Circle has been keeping things solid on the ground. And the streets don't forget. Now with all those leaked phone convos floating around, old fake friendships getting exposed, and those rough album numbers adding pressure, things are heating up. And this latest online disrespect, it's like lighting a match in a gas station. Atlanta is buzzing right now. Word is spreading fast that 4L might be gearing up to make a move, and when they respond, it's never just talk. They don't do press statements, they show it with real action. This could shake Atlanta's whole scene to its core. Before we dive into how Future basically set himself up for this mess, you gotta understand who 4L really is. It's not just 21 Savage's crew, this is a tight street brotherhood with deep roots in Atlanta's underground scene. When 21 Savage says he's the realest doing it, he's not talking about image. He's talking about real loyalty, real codes, and real credibility that runs way deeper than the music industry ever could. He's not just rapping stories, he's giving you his whole resume. Every bar 21 drops is a reflection of what he's lived, and the wild part is his crew is still active. Meanwhile, Future's always been that calm superstar who minds his business, drops bangers, and stays out of the dirt. That smooth, drama-free lifestyle worked for him for years until now. Because those boundaries that used to keep everyone in their lanes, they just got smashed to pieces. Future built his legacy on being that icy, unbothered player, too cool to get mixed up in street politics. But now, that same cool image might be what lands him in real heat. 21's been feeling some type of way for a while now. His latest project, American Dream, only did around 50,000 in its first week, the lowest numbers of his career. And it's eating at him. At the same time, Future's still getting called the King of Atlanta, which 21 sees as fake energy. That jealousy been bubbling, and Future's tweet just flipped the switch. The tension's been building like a pressure cooker ready to blow, and the timing couldn't be worse. With Young Thug still behind bars, and the whole YSL case hanging over the city, Atlanta's power balance is already shaky. Now you got two of the city's biggest stars turning this tension into a line in the sand moment, and everyone's picking sides. Things took an even crazier turn when those leaked jail calls came out. Young Thug was going off about Future in private convos with his girl, Mariah the Scientist. He was venting heavy about people he thought were his friends, and those words, they cut deep. In one of those leaked calls, Thug was straight up venting. He talked about how Future wouldn't even show up for a free Thug concert. Future supposedly told people he didn't want to steal Thug's shine, but Thug saw right through that. He felt like Future was just using that as a weak excuse to avoid supporting him when it really mattered. But that wasn't even the wild part. It got way deeper. Thug said Future switches up when women are around. According to him, when it's just the bros in the studio, Future's humble, asking Thug for advice on music and actually listening. But the second some ladies walk in, he starts acting brand new, ignoring Thug like he's invisible. That's some fake behavior right there. Then Thug turned things up another notch. He started dragging Future's personal life, calling him out for being reckless in his relationships and careless with people's feelings. He mentioned a woman named Arabian, claiming she went through a lot because of how messy Future moves. Thug painted him as someone who plays with emotions and doesn't think about the consequences of his actions. And that hit hard. But the part that shook the whole conversation was when Thug said Future's whole circle is fake. He even came for the people that both of them worked with. Thug called Future a gal clown, basically saying he's a man who lets attention from women control him instead of handling business like a real one. And coming from Thug, someone the streets still respect, that kind of talk carries serious weight.
Man, I ain't been tight in a minute.
Yeah.
And it's because he do little lane jump, like call me to the studio. You know, so I pull up to the studio chilling with him. You asking me what to say on the song and how you should start off your song. Then there's girls in the room. Now you acting like you don't hear me telling you that. Because there's girls in here, like, just like little fake nigga like that, like little stuff like that. I don't be liking that nigga. I'm a player. Like, what's wrong with you, fool? You trying to, I don't know what image you trying to get off to these girls, but you an idiot, nigga. Like, everything you know a nigga teaching you, I done taught you. Like, cut it out, bro.
This wasn't just some rap beef. This was real pain from someone who once called Future family. And when family lets you down, that sting cuts way deeper than anything an enemy could ever do. When those leaked calls hit the internet, 21 Savage had a serious decision to make. Stay out of it and play peacekeeper, or take a stand. And he didn't hesitate for a second. He rode with Young Thug. Why? Because 21 and Thug go way back. Their bond runs deeper than music. While Future was living that superstar lifestyle, far from the chaos, 21 and Thug were grinding in the same streets, building everything from the ground up. They came out of the same trenches, went through similar struggles, and earned their stripes by being real, not just by chasing chart hits. When Thug got locked up on that heavy RICO case, 21 didn't disappear like most people would have. He held it down. He visited, looked out for him, kept his name alive in the streets and in the music scene. That's real loyalty, something money can't buy or fake. And 21's been feeling like the industry overlooks him for a long time. In Atlanta, he's been working hard for years, both in the booth and out here in real life. But every time folks talk about Atlanta royalty, Future's name comes up first. So when someone like Thug, who is Atlanta royalty, starts calling Future out, that hits home for 21. It validates every feeling he's been holding in. And let's be real, 21 knows the code of the streets better than almost anyone. He understands that loyalty always beats industry politics or business ties. Future might have more hits, a bigger catalog, and more mainstream shine, but Thug stayed real when it counted most. And in 21's world, that's the only thing that really matters. There's also the respect angle. 21's always stood on being solid, even when it cost him deals or friendships. So seeing Future get praised as the king of Atlanta while allegedly moving fake behind closed doors, that eats at him. It's not just jealousy, it's frustration from a man who's always kept it real, watching someone else get crowned for something he doesn't even stand on. The tension between Future's camp and 21 Savage's crew runs way deeper than just hurt feelings or rap competition. This goes into real life territory.
If I'd have met you, bro, I don't feel like you supposed to been in the street. Cause niggas don't know you really a smart ass, let it go ass nigga, call nigga phone, let it go ass nigga.
But a lot of niggas is them the
you
most
really a smart ass.
But yeah, goddamn, I don't know I think what made me jump in the street was just my circumstances. I feel like I was forced in the street because I couldn't do nothing else. I ain't got no green card. I can't get no job. So how the hell else was I gonna survive? You feel what I'm saying? This is how I really feel. I feel like Atlanta is really goddamn, what's the word? Atlanta really a pedophile. Cause Atlanta really groomed us, bro, since we was kids.
The fuck?
No, just listen to what
Word around Atlanta is that some serious street business went sideways between their camps, and it wasn't over no small change either. It was about real money and real consequences. Here's how the story's being told. Somebody from 21 Savage's circle sold a condo to a member of Future's Free Band's crew. On the surface, it looked clean. Just a regular real estate deal between two people who knew each other through the industry. But behind the scenes, things were moving shady from the start. The seller allegedly kept an extra key in the garage remote, not by accident, but on purpose. So when the buyer went out of town, feeling all good about his new spot, the seller doubled back and cleared the place out. And this wasn't no small break-in. They hit big. Jewelry worth hundreds of thousands, stacks of cash, and even safes filled with who knows what. This wasn't a quick grab and go. It was a planned out setup that probably pulled in 6 figures or more. And when the victim checked the security footage, boom, they saw exactly who did it. This wasn't some random break-in from strangers. This was a betrayal from somebody who knew the whole layout from day one. In the streets, when something serious goes down, there's always an expectation. The boss steps up and makes it right. In this case, that boss was 21 Savage. He was supposed to either pay back what was taken or handle the one responsible for the hit. That's how respect gets restored. But according to people close to the situation, 21 never really handled it. He didn't make it right, and that decision, or lack of one, caused real tension. Future's people felt straight up disrespected and violated, not just by the robbery itself, but by 21's silence afterward. In the streets, Ignoring a situation like that doesn't just look bad, it looks weak. And in some eyes, it even looks like you're okay with what happened. That's what made this so serious. This wasn't some petty music rivalry or ego clash. This was about real street business, real money lost, and real disrespect that got left hanging in the air. And when real-life street issues start crossing into the music world, things can spiral fast, and sometimes violently. And the first time people really noticed the tension in public was during 21 Savage's interview with Big Bank. The energy in that room said it all. Big Bank kept pushing the same question: who's the GOAT of Atlanta? And you could see 21 getting tense. He kept dodging the question, switching topics, trying to laugh it off, but Big Bank wasn't letting him escape that easily. Every time the conversation circled back to Atlanta's rap hierarchy, 21 looked like he didn't even want to say Future's name. He'd talk around it, throw out vague answers, or name drop other artists just to keep the focus off Future. It was obvious something personal was behind that hesitation. Then came the moment that said it all. When Bank pressed him harder, 21 finally said, "I'm gonna say me." And the way he said it, that wasn't a joke or ego. It was raw, real confidence. He meant it from the heart. You could tell he's tired of being treated like the underdog in his own city, tired of watching others get crowned while he's still being overlooked. When Big Bank asked who else should be in that top-tier conversation, 21 mentioned a few artists from his own circle. But not once did he mention Future. That silence spoke volumes. The shade wasn't loud, but it was felt. Everyone watching could sense it. That was 21's way of saying, "I see the so-called king, but I'm not bowing to him anymore." That interview was 21's way of testing the waters, seeing how the public would react if he left Future's name out of the Atlanta GOAT talk.
Your fans want to hear Drip Too Hard. They want to hear these songs that are amazing hit songs that you happen to have with Gunna. You're skipping them because Gunna's a snitch or a rat? I thought Young Thug's father said that. Technically, he's not, right? There's some YSL niggas now saying that, he's not. But Lil Baby's trying to stand on business and be like, fuck that. We're skipping the song. We're not even playing the song at the concert no more? I feel like something happened recently. Something behind the scenes. This confirms something happened behind the scenes.
And when he saw fans backing him up in the comments and all over social media, that was all the confirmation he needed. People were agreeing with him, and that gave him the green light to turn it up even more. It became clear that this wasn't just a random moment. 21 had been sitting on these feelings for a while. He'd been thinking deeply about how Atlanta's music hierarchy is structured and where he fits into it. He wasn't just talking slick, he was speaking from a place of real frustration. Meanwhile, Future didn't react with anger or threats. That's not his style. Being the calm, confident superstar he is, he did what he always does best. He let the numbers talk. Instead of jumping into the drama, he hopped on social media and dropped a post reminding everyone who really runs things. He wrote about being the biggest in this, a smooth but sharp message to everyone watching. It was his way of saying, y'all can argue about who's real, but I'm still the one sitting at the top. But let's be real. Those leaked jail calls got to him. Hearing someone you used to call family label you fake on a call that the whole world ends up hearing, that's gotta cut deep, especially when it's coming from someone you helped come up in the game. Future's always built his image around staying out of drama, avoiding the mess, and letting success be his armor. That's how he's managed to stay on top for over a decade while others fell off or burned out. It was a smooth flex. But everybody in the game knew exactly what Future meant. That biggest in this post hit like a silent shot, and it sent the internet into a frenzy. What's wild is that Future could have gone way harder. He could have clapped back directly at the jail call drama or addressed 21's slick comments head on, but instead, he kept it classy, at least at first. Now, depending on how you look at it, that could have been a genius move or a risky one, because in street culture, taking the high road can easily be mistaken for weakness. And when you're dealing with a crew like 4L, a group that values action over talk, that calm approach might not cut it. Future's silence might have been meant to cool things off, but to 4L, it might have looked like he wasn't built for the smoke. Then came the breaking point. After his album American Dream struggled with only about 50,000 in first week sales, his lowest ever, 21 snapped. He jumped on Twitter and started unloading everything he'd been holding back. It wasn't just random tweets, it was a full-on vent session aimed straight at Future. He called himself the realest in it, a clear response to Future's biggest in this message, and from there, things got messy fast. 21 started exposing behind-the-scenes drama that most rappers would never speak on publicly. He tweeted that Quality Control's boss, QCP, had made bad calls and that both he and Lil Baby knew Thug was moving funny when it came to the snitching talk. According to 21, Thug was bending the street rules to protect certain people, a major accusation that sent shockwaves through the game. That tweet hit hard because it hinted that even Thug's closest circle, the ones who always screamed loyalty, didn't fully believe in his consistency. 21 basically said out loud what a lot of people whispered in private, that Thug was picking and choosing when to apply the code. He didn't stop there either. He even revealed that he tried to get Quavo and Offset to squash their own feud by putting them on a group call, but it fell apart. That move showed 21 was tired of fake unity in the industry. He wanted to call out all the hypocrisy, even if it meant exposing people he used to rock with. 21 was trying to flip the whole situation and make himself look like the real one, the peacemaker holding Atlanta together while everyone else let their egos rip the city apart. He wanted to come off like the only one still solid, the one who cared more about unity than clout. But then came the bombshell, the part that really shook the industry. He started talking about Young Thug and Gunna, and what he said had everybody's jaws on the floor. 21 claimed Thug always knew Gunna wasn't built like that from the jump, but they kept it quiet because it was good for business. He basically admitted that the crew ignored all those snitching rumors because Gunna was bringing in big money. That kind of confession doesn't just stir gossip, it explodes it. Then 21 took aim at the rest of Atlanta's rap scene, calling out artists for being fake and switching sides whenever it benefited them. He said too many people in the city only show love when it's convenient, not out of loyalty. He was painting himself as the only authentic voice left, the one calling out the industry's hypocrisy while everyone else stayed silent. That whole rant showed 21 had been carrying a lot of frustration for a long time, about the fakeness, about being overlooked, about how the city's politics work. And honestly, it seemed like his latest album flop was just the final straw. American Dream barely pulled 50,000 first week, a huge drop for someone at his level. And that had to sting. Let's keep it all the way real. Those low numbers put pressure on 21's image. It was a wake-up call, and he needed to get his name buzzing again fast. And what better way to do that than to spark up a feud with Future, one of Atlanta's biggest stars, while spilling insider secrets the blogs couldn't resist posting about. 21's clearly trying to rebuild his image as the authentic voice of Atlanta, the one who's still real in a city full of fakes. But it's a risky move, no doubt, because when you start calling out names and airing out the industry's secrets, you burn bridges, and not small ones either. These are powerful people with serious connections. Still, when your album numbers are slipping and your buzz is fading, sometimes you gotta roll the dice and take bold risks to stay relevant. The problem is, once you start mixing music beef with real street ties and real money, those risks stop being industry drama and start becoming dangerous. And 21 knows that. His whole brand has always been built on authenticity, on being that rapper who came from it for real, not some label-made image. So when his music isn't hitting like it used to, doubling down on that real street persona makes perfect sense from a branding standpoint. It's his way of reminding people who he really is. But this right here, this isn't your typical rap rivalry. This is a situation with real weight. 21's crew, 4L, has a serious reputation in Atlanta. They're known for standing on business. These aren't just rappers using tough talk for clout. These are real people with street reputations to protect and a code they live by. Over the years, 4L has been quietly connected to multiple incidents that never made the headlines. But everybody in Atlanta knows what time it is with them. So when 21 raps about sliding or taking action, he's not talking about dropping diss tracks. He's talking about real-life movement. And when you mix that kind of energy with bruised pride, a struggling album, and years of built-up frustration towards someone like Future, it turns into something much more dangerous. 21 feels overlooked and disrespected watching Future still dominate as Atlanta's golden boy. And in his eyes, Future's success represents everything fake about the game. That kind of resentment doesn't just fade, it builds. And if it keeps going like this, things could explode way past music. Future feels stabbed in the back, betrayed by someone he once helped rise to the top. And over in that jail cell, Young Thug is probably sitting there realizing he might have started a storm that's now spinning out of his control. Those leaked calls were never supposed to see daylight. They were private convos between people who once called each other family. But now that they're out, the whole city's divided. And in Atlanta, picking sides isn't just drama, it's dangerous. And let's not forget that condo situation. That wasn't just gossip or internet rumors. That was real money and real victims. It added another explosive layer to an already messy situation. When street business starts blending with music business, things never stay peaceful for long, especially when 4L's involved, a crew that's known for responding to disrespect with real action. Future might have just made himself a target without even realizing how serious this could get. What makes it even more unpredictable is that both sides got real power. Future's got the fame, the industry ties, and the money to move mountains. But 21, he's got the streets, and that means influence that can't be bought. His people are loyal, active, and not afraid to step up when it gets real. When those two worlds, money and muscle, collide, it's a setup for chaos. Atlanta's seen this story before. When rap beef stop being about lyrics and start involving actual street crews, it doesn't stay on wax. People end up hurt, careers crash, and sometimes lives get taken. And right now, all the signs are pointing to things spiraling that same way again. From Twitter fingers to something much darker, the energy's shifting fast. This whole situation is way bigger than just three rappers not getting along. It's about power and authenticity. It's about who really runs Atlanta now. For years, Future was the uncontested king, the one with the hits, the money, and the respect. But now, 21 Savage is openly questioning that crown, while Young Thug, even locked up, still holds massive influence from behind bars. Now you've got a whole new generation of Atlanta artists sitting back, watching this play out like a movie, waiting to see who's really gonna come out on top. Loyalty lines are being drawn across the city, and it's getting tense. Rappers who came up under Future's influence are now being forced to decide, stick with the man who paved the way, or admit that maybe 21's been right about the whole authenticity talk all along. Even the street crews are feeling the pressure. A lot of them have ties on both sides, business deals, collaborations, old friendships, and now they've got to choose where their loyalty really stands. And that's where things get dangerous, because this isn't just internet beef or a bunch of tweets for clout. Both sides got real street ties, people who aren't afraid to stand on business if things get out of hand. This whole mess exposes one of hip-hop's oldest struggles, the clash between commercial success and street credibility. It's a battle that's been part of the culture from day one. Future represents that superstar lane, the money, the chart toppers, the global fame, and the crossover appeal that makes him a household name. But 21, he's the voice of the streets, raw, unfiltered, and real. He represents the struggle, the pain, and that unshakable code that says, I don't bend for nobody. Now Atlanta's hip-hop scene is being forced to pick sides. What's worth more, the fame or the realness, the glitz or the grit? And that's a dangerous choice to put in front of people who built their lives on loyalty and respect, because once that line gets drawn, it's hard to erase. When you zoom out and look at the big picture, this beef might have started with those leaked jail calls, but it's about so much more than that. It's about respect, loyalty, and who's truly real in a city built on authenticity. Thug's words about Future pulled the curtain back on years of fake friendships and quiet resentment that had been bubbling beneath the surface. And 21's decision to stand with Thug instead of Future made one thing crystal clear. His loyalty isn't for sale. Even if it means going against one of the biggest names in the game, he's standing on principle, not popularity. Depending on how you see it, 21's loyalty could be seen as admirable or dangerously stubborn. Either way, it's risky. The whole condo robbery situation shows that this drama goes way past music. There's real street business involved that never got handled right. And that Twitter meltdown after his album tanked, that was a clear sign that desperation can make even the calmest person take moves they wouldn't normally take. Future's cool, collected image has always worked for him, staying out the mix, letting the music talk, keeping his hands clean. That's how he stayed at the top while others crashed out. But in this case, staying quiet might actually hurt him. In Atlanta's hip-hop scene, silence can look like fear. And perception out here is everything. The moment people start seeing weakness, they test you. And once that energy shifts, it's hard to pull it back. And this whole situation is shining a light on something bigger. That success doesn't always mean respect. You can have the plaques, the hits, and the fame, but if the streets don't feel you, they don't crown you. And sometimes, the realest move you can make is calling out the fake, even if it costs you everything you built. But now, the big question is, does this all stay online, or does it turn into something way more dangerous? Because the city's watching close, the streets are talking heavy, and everyone's waiting to see who's really about what they claim. In Atlanta, keeping it real isn't just a saying. It can be the difference between making it home or becoming another headline. And that's the scary part. Once this kind of tension starts, it's almost impossible to control where it ends. What started with leaked phone calls and bruised egos could turn into something that affects real lives. In a city like Atlanta, where the line between entertainment and the streets is paper thin, that's a dangerous mix. So, what do you think? Is 21 Savage telling the truth about Future being fake? Or is he just trying to rebuild his image after American Dream fell flat? And most importantly, do you think this drama stays on social media? Or are we about to see it spill into something way more serious? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Because this story is far from over, and it might get a whole lot messier before it gets better.